On today's small engine repair video, we've got this Husqvarna YTH2042 rider. Was given to me by somebody I've known for a good little while. Went to school with his son and played baseball with his son. So, very nice, great people. And they just needed to clean his father-in-law's property out of the lawn equipment. He actually gave me a yard bug rider, which is pretty cool. Would love to get that going again. But we're going to try this one first. I was told that this was a running machine when it was parked, however many years ago. But the transmission was bad in it. So we'll see what the verdict is here on it. I'm hoping that the transmission's good, but if not, I've got plenty of mowers out here that have bad transmit or bad everything else, but the transmission's allegedly good in it. So hopefully we'll get it going again. And we'll go ahead and I'll walk around, show you what this looks like, and we'll go ahead and see if we can get this thing running, driving, and cutting again. Alright, so here it is. We'll walk around it real quick. I'll show you the model number and all that good stuff on it. Seat's bad, like they all are. It was made in 2010, actually. So this is a 05-11-10 YTH2042. It is a Briggs & Stratton. So about, what, 12 years old, or 15 years old, man. And looks like it had been worked on a little bit before it was abandoned. I think my man's father-in-law was over 90 years old, or is almost 90 years old or something like that. So pretty neat. But the engine has compression. It's been leaking oil from somewhere though, pretty bad, or maybe it was pretty used up. There's still a little bit of oil on the dipstick. We'll throw some oil in it and see if we can get it to go. Got a big oil filter on it. Front gas tank, which is kind of nice for cleaning out if I got to clean it out. Yeah, it's a little bit varnishy down there. Not terrible though. Probably a little fuel flush will do wonders on it. Yeah, hydrostatic, 42-inch cut. Been sitting out in the weather for a good little while, it looks like. We'll throw some fuel lines in it. I might pull the fuel tank out. I think I can do that without having to take anything but these 10 millimeters off. There's a cup or something down here. Styrofoam cup. I don't see any nest action, I don't think. Carb looks pretty bad. But you never know. Is this a replacement carb, or did he just take the bowl nut off? He may have just took the bowl nut off. I may just be able to find a bowl nut or something and throw it on there. But yeah, so that's it. Throttle and everything works. Blade engagement works. So we'll see what we have here. Like I said, it almost looks like it was either leaking out of the oil filter or leaking out of the dipstick here, or not the dipstick, but the oil fill area right here. But that's tight, so, well, it was until I did that. So I'll try and tighten that up a little bit, and we'll go from there. Yeah, so I'll maybe throw some gas in it, find a bowl nut, and see what happens. Okay, so I made a couple of steps here. Haven't put any oil in it yet, but I will in a second. Just kind of want to make sure it turns over before I do that, and maybe even hits. I discovered there's no muffler. I do have a solution for that. I've got the old muffler bracket or something where the old muffler was. It broke off, and I got a good muffler here. So I may see, and I've got other mufflers. I may see if I have one that is a direct fit, but I should be able to fit that one on with no problem, because that is like a Craftsman muffler or something like that. So cleaned out the gas tank so it's in a much better condition. And still got to find the plug for the anti-backfire solenoid for this carburetor, and I want to see if this carb is good. I did put a battery in it. It should be a good battery, so I'm going to sit y'all on the tripod here, and we'll see if this thing kicks off. Hopefully it does. And I got to get a key because I don't have a key in it. All right, let's see. No hour meter on this. So the battery itself is dead, or this is bad. Okay, I may have a dead battery, which I just charged it, so I don't know. Let me grab my charging device here, and or my jump starting device, and we'll see what happens as a result of jump starting it. Hopefully something. Uh-oh. This might be a compression release issue, guys. Let's pull the where's my 3/8? Pull off the valve cover gasket. I'm hoping that it's just the valves out of adjustment, but if we got to put a cam in here. I was trying to find something that didn't have an engine out job, since like the last 4 riders it seems that I've done work to have been engine outs. Had a couple of easy repairs in between, but still. Let's see here. Open up this. Somebody's been in here. So let's see. We're missing a cap, a valve cap for one of the overhead valve or for the what am I trying to say here? This valve. It's missing the cap. Kind of looks like somebody's been in here though, trying to fix this already. I'm going to see if I can find a valve cap, and we'll try it after that, but I'm thinking we got a bad compression release on this one, which is going to be a little unfortunate, but I think I've got a kit here. I just got to slap it on. Alright y'all, the sun is a little bit blinding, but it feels good. But I gotta take this off, unfortunately. I tightened the valves, or adjusted the valve spec, found a valve cap, still not turning over like it should, unfortunately. The starter feels fine. I might just double check that before I go through this whole process and pull everything off of it, but I can feel, let's see, usually you can see it gets really tight right there, and right there you're usually supposed to feel a compression release, but there is none right there. Ugh. So, like I said, I'm almost certain that this thing's got a bad compression release on it. Like I said, I'll double check myself on the starter just to make sure. Let me see if I can get to it without having to. No, I got to pull the engine cover off. So, man, I was hoping this would be a quick one, but it's not going to be. So those, and then we'll get the other two here. Looks like I got to take them completely off. In the back here. Like I said, I'm just going to make double sure, but it spins over really good up until the point where it reaches where it's supposed to be. So, but if it's not going to be an engine out job, might as well try, or might as well see first. So we'll get this last one off here. It's a bummer that battery's dead, because it was not even a 2-year-old battery. I just charged it. Like I said, I just charged it the other day. So we'll pull this off. Like I said, I'm just going to double check to make sure that the starter's... Oh! There's a lot of resistance in the starter. So I'm not going to put it past it that it is a starter yet. Like, it's really tight right there. Okay. That's why we look first. Sorry, y'all are on the other side. But let me get you over here. So, starter right there. When I turn it, pretty tight. So that would potentially prevent it. I have starters here, which is good. Hopefully that are good. That I can take off. I've got one off a blown engine back there. So I'm going to swap that starter. It's just a couple of 13 millimeters. You can get to a wrench right there, and usually you can just get that one off with the socket. Got to take the 7/16 off the starter nut. Just make sure that you have the ignition switch off. You can disconnect the battery if you would like. I'm going to take that starter off. I'm going to find me a good starter, swap it, and maybe we don't have to pull this engine to do a compression release. I'm hoping that we don't. Maybe it's just a starter. Alright, so new starter is on. I have the jump box hooked up to it, but let me show you. This is pretty sad. This battery is only 2 years old, or less than 3 years old, and it's already bad. But seems like the valves are still out, but might just be the way that it is. But the starter is definitely starter's turning it over, so hopefully we're okay. I may throw a battery in it just to make sure. I throw a good new battery in it just to make sure. And then we're gonna put some oil in it and let it roll. Let's see. That was actually a little tight now. But yeah, so we're at that point. Starter's turning it over. Hopefully that's a good sign. And we'll continue here in just a second. So y'all saw it has a good starter. And I put a brand new battery in it, like brand spanking new. And it's still doing it, unfortunately. So we got a compression release issue, unfortunately. But that starter is definitely good. So I think what I'm going to do is get the engine off now. What I have already done, I'm going to go ahead and jack it up so I can show you what all we've got to do here. It's not too much. Just put your park brake on for your brake for your drive. And we've got the 7/16. We've got to take the starter nut off. Just make sure your ignition switch is off. You can turn off the, or you can disconnect the negative battery cable if you want to. But there's a two-prong plug right here for the charging system you got to take off. You've got your starter nut here to take off. This poor motor engine right here is caked in oil too. This is your ignition coil wire. Actually, what you could do is just pull the 6-pin connector right here. Save you a bunch of time and effort if we can get it off. Actually, we're not going to get it off. So I forgot it's tied with the headlights too. What's my best option here then? Because it is bolted. No, it's just clipped on the bottom. And there's an 8mm on the side over here that we've got to get off. That's what we've got to do. There's an 8mm for the ground on this side, which we'll get off here in just a second if I can find my tools. There we go. Alright. So that's off. I got a linkage to get off here too. For the throttle linkage on the side. Pull that off with an 8mm. You'll see it with no issue. And then that should be all that is keeping this engine on wiring wise. Mounting wise, we're going to go up underneath the machine here and got to grab all of my stuff here to get this off. But 5/8 locks that pulley, and you just slide. Generally, you don't have any issues with the Husqvarnas, thankfully, or I haven't in the past. Getting the double stack pulley off. Generally, they're not rusted, which is a good thing. Makes life a lot easier on me. Now, if we get under here, I've got a. They're either half, 9/16 or 5/8, depending on what you're working on. And I don't know which ones these are, but I'm going to get a longer extension. I think they may be 9/16. There's 4 mounting bolts under here. Like I said, they're either a half, a 9/16, or a 5/8, depending on the day, depending on the machine. And these are 9/16. So there's number 2. Oops. Number 3 and number 4 are sometimes a little more difficult to get. And number 4, alright, that's where the longer extension comes in. Okay, so number 4, I find where I put my longer extension right here. And you'll see them under there. Pretty easy to get to. On the Husqvarnas anyways. Some of them aren't, but. There we go. Number 4 is out. I think. Yeah, it just fell its way down there. So, should just be able to whoop, pull these wires through and lift her up out of here. There we go. You can see, very, very oily. I might wash the frame off. Gotta get bolt number 4 right here because it didn't come out. One way or the other, I'll get it out. There we go. But either way, there we go. Alright, it's out. So, I don't think I feel like doing the compression release today since it is Friday at 4 o'clock. So I think I might pull the pressure washer out and wash this thing up. Get it all nice and clean for us so that whenever I do put this engine back on, it's going to be clean, if that makes sense. So, I'll do that. Well, I want to say that I don't know if I've done one of these in 2025, so I've waited until December 22nd to do one. I may have done one very early in the year, I can't remember. But what you do is you've got your 1/2-inch sump bolts that you have to take out here. So I could actually remove all of them. That way this is a clean sweep. This one has an oil filter, so you have to make sure you take the 3 screws off for the oil pump, for the pressure lube, and you can take out these if you want to, but they'll come out either way when you do this. So a lot of times what I do, I'll back y'all up so I don't whack y'all too bad, is as long as you still got the oil filter on it, you're not going to reuse an old oil filter. So I just come and tap it on the bottom here. Get everything. Well, did I miss one? No? I think this one just doesn't want to go. Why don't you want to go? Let's see. Y'all still there? Yeah. Because I did miss one. I was like, usually this just pops right off. There we go. Luckily, this is an older Intech 2010. The ones made in like 2016 and newer, they Loctited the mess out of them things. There we go. Much better. So you have to make sure that they don't break off when you do this. Alright, so oil pump. Let's see, right here. It's a little sludgy. Ooh. All the oil associated items here. And do we have it? We do have a broken compression release. So it's not all in vain, thankfully. So it's just a messy job, but that's alright. Oil pump. Put all your stuff where you know you gotta put it back in. Governor looks fine. So that's good. And then our compression release. So we'll grab a magnet. Right. Oh, I'm not going to be able to get it. I'll grab it in a second. Got to make sure all the parts and stuff get out of here for the compression release. One thing that I'm going to try and do is spin this engine over. Get it off of the cam and get it at top dead center. So this so this comes out like it's supposed to. Oh, get a little bit of oil in the cylinder, but that's alright. So there are two dots that you got to line up on the camshaft and the crankshaft right there. Go ahead and line them up before you take the old camshaft off. Makes it a lot easier to get the old camshaft off. There's our broken compression release. So that is trash. And we have us if I can get it. And this is the arm. So, whoop-de-doo. Good news is I basically keep these things in stock because I used to had to replace them all the time. I don't replace them as much as I used to for some reason. Maybe I've replaced them all at this point. But, so yeah, so what I'm going to do now, get all this gasket material off. I've got to reach down in here and make sure that we don't have any remaining metal pieces for the compression and camshaft. It looks like it was a clean break though. It looks like it was a clean break, so I can cross-reference it real quick. But it looks, let's see, we can get this new camshaft out and check it real quick. Yeah, it basically almost looks like the pin just fell off, or the pin just broke off. So that's actually the good style of break right there. We just lost a pin, so maybe I need to. Oh, is the pin in here? No. So the pin dropped out somewhere. I just need to find that pin real quick, and we should be in good shape. Probably in the oil, or maybe in the base. We'll make sure that it is out. And we'll put the new camshaft in, which I just pulled out of the box. I'll have a link to the description for one of these, because I see that they get bought a lot off my Amazon links. And you will probably need one just like it. These are the ones that I link are the ones I've used quite a bit, and I haven't had an issue with them. They're aftermarket, but I mean, if the Briggs one did it, who's to say the aftermarket one isn't any worse, right? So this one comes with a pan gasket and some lifters. You can change the lifters out if you want to. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It just kind of depends on the day. The lifters on this look good, so it'll probably just be a cam. I'm going to go ahead and take care of that. I got to scrape off all of this gasket material here, so that's going to take, that's what the most time consuming part of the job is, scraping all this off, cleaning it all off. Taking it off the mower isn't really that big of a job, so we'll get all this scraped off, put everything back together, and I'll show you how to do that. So I still got a lot of cleaning up, wiping off to do, but I was able to find our pin and what may have been the culprit of this, potentially. Remember that valve cap that I was missing earlier? There it is. I'll show you where it was. Like I said, I still got to do a lot of cleaning on this engine. Cleaning up gaskets is a mess sometimes. It was right there beside the camshaft. So it wouldn't surprise me if that thing just shot over and broke it off like that at some point. But yeah, so that's it. I'm going to get all this cleaned up, get the other base cleaned up right there, and I guess clean up the oil that I've spilled now as well, and we will put it all back together. Alright, so I've got it relatively clean. Camshaft, like I said, I got all the debris and stuff out of the engine. Camshaft, like the pin and all of that, still got a little bit of gasket material, but everything will be good. Line up my dots on the camshaft with the dots on the crankshaft, and get my timing right. Ooh, we'll go one more over. There's still a little bit of oil in the bottom of the base of the engine, so this actually is going to help me a little bit. And actually, I may have to use a different camshaft because this one's an oil-fed engine. I am. Let me see. Let me get another one here. Yeah. Okay. So I gotta use this one because this camshaft doesn't have a slot for the oil passage. See that? So luckily I've got 3 of these. I must have put one in a box just because I did. This one looks like it looks like everything works like it's supposed to. So probably just an extra one I had lying around that I never used, or came off of another engine or something. But the compression release valve works, or appears to be in working condition, so we'll go with that. Now the gasket, I should have been more proactive on this for the past couple days. Some of these gaskets come all shriveled up and stuff like this. So there's a valve cover gasket. How about that? So I'm going to try my best to get this bent out like it's supposed to be. As good as I can here. We're going like that. We are. So I got to get the pins in and get the gasket around here. Like so. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and put the sump cover on. And we'll go from there when it comes to this. So the oil filter is going to be over here. And this gasket is really mangled. That's alright, we'll make it work. Get it down there. Get it on the other pin on this side. Oh boy. Alright, so I may just flatten this for a little bit, but you'll slide that on, and then once I slide this on with the gasket, I'll show y'all how to put the oil filter pump and all that stuff back in. So let me get all this squeezed down correctly and get it on, tighten everything up. I'll tell you the sump gasket specs. I think they're like 18 foot-pounds if they're like the cylinder heads. And we'll go from there after that. Alright, time to put it back on here. I have the 1/2-inch screws in. I was able to get the gasket nice and flat. And I think I got 1 or 2 more screws that I'm missing here. Oh. Totally forgot to put the governor on. So let me go back and do that. Luckily I haven't gone very far. Just got to undo all these real quick. I just hand threaded them. That's why you put all the stuff together, because you just don't know, or that way you have an idea if something's left, then you got to redo it. So now you'll actually see me put the gasket back on. Ugh. Life is a struggle sometimes. It's okay. Let's pull her back out here. Of course, the gasket's going to come with it. Alright, we'll dump all these bolts out in a second. Here's our governor. Man, so the cam's in there. Governor. Make sure the governor rests on the governor arm. And then we can take our cover, our gasket and our cover, and put it on. Of course, after I flatten everything out, it went on just fine. So hopefully it will be the same way when we do this. It's a little bit still wonky, but I'm going to slide it on here. I'm going to make sure that the governor arm stays where it's supposed to be. Appears like it will. I'm going to give it a couple very gentle taps to get it down. If it does not go down, if it's trying to force itself, just double check everything. We've got a good governor arm interaction there as well. And then I'm just going to go back and hand tighten all of these one more time. And then get them all to the correct spec, torque spec. But what I can also show you here is how to, let's see, put all these on. We've got one bolt that we need to put on somewhere. Where have I missed it? Right there. Putting all these oil gaskets and stuff. So we've got our oil pump right here. It just slides down. Turn it, it'll pop into a slot. And then you've got your outside ring here, the star. Which you can put in first or second. It just kind of depends on what you want to do. I put the inside one in first, and I think I can throw the outside one on in some form or fashion here. There we go. Alright, got that on. That's great. It is so hard to clean one of these in a timely manner. But make sure you got your oil O-ring down here. Make sure that it is nice and clean and seated well so you don't have a leak at the sump. And let's see here. So we're going to make sure that doesn't get damaged or anything. Put that on. I'll go ahead and screw that on with the 3 screws, 5/16. Don't go too crazy on the impact. Get like a little 1/4 inch impact, because you don't want to strip these, because if you strip them they get loose and you have problems. So let me see here. I can find a 1/4 inch impact. My tools all over the place today, but I'm going to knock these down here. The 1/2 inch bolts I will torque to the correct spec, and I'll rejoin y'all once I get this engine back onto the machine. We've got a little muffler work to do as well, and we will see what we get into after that. But hopefully this thing is a runner again, or a cranker, shall I say. Alright, everything's back on, and no fuel or anything hooked up to it, but I can show you. We are in great shape when it comes to this. I just need to double check my valve clearances. They seem to be good. Yeah, they seem to be spot on still, which is good. So, that's awesome. I gotta get a valve cover on this. And oil filter, obviously. Put oil in it. Another thing I want to do, I kind of want to see, let me grab a paper clip here real quick. And I'm just going to see if the jet for this carburetor is good. Or not, I guess, dumbed up. Kind of feels like it is. But I might have got it there. Yeah, I think I got it. Throw a little bit of carb spray down there. Find an anti-backfire solenoid. Put some oil in this. And run a fuel. Well, I've already ran the fuel line. Put the choke throttle cable back on here. Right. Let's see how this is going to go. But I'll put that back on this side. I've already got the starter nut hooked up. I need to hook up my 6-pin connector. Oh, I've already done that as well. And the charging wire, and we should be good. So I'm going to go ahead and get all this prepared to hopefully get it started. I need to brush off this old gasket here and put that gasket that came with the cam on, and we'll see what we have. Alright, so I got this thing full of oil. Before we do anything with putting belts and drive and stuff like that on it, make sure everything's alright. We'll see if I can crank it. I did find an anti-backfire solenoid to put on here. Just cut the cord off of it, so because because it wasn't the exact style, but it serves the purpose of keeping the fuel in the carburetor. Put a little gas in it. I'm going to make sure the belts are not going to mess anything up down here. We'll do that right there. Alright. So, will it crank with the existing carb on it? We shall see. I'll be very interested to see. It does spin over good now, though. I'm very happy about that. So, let's see. Oh, nope. No, that carb is done. Alright, we're putting a carb on it. Let me, Oh yeah, we're putting a carb on it. Alright, I'm going to get that taken care of real quick. I need to find some pliers. Needle nose pliers to knock that fuel off, though. I had a feeling that was probably going to be the case, but I wanted to try it first. So, carb. I'll show you how to change it out. Alright guys, time for a carb replacement here. And I need to get, do I need to get pliers or can I get it off with my fingers? Yeah, I think I can get it off my fingers. There we go. I'll get this fuel line off. Obviously I've already had the piece off for the, there we go, my goodness, for the engine cover already. So let's see here. 7/16. This is an 11mm because I've misplaced my 7/16. With all the other projects that I've got going on today, I need to clean out my garage here. But we will do that at a later date, later time. Alright, the other one that we're going to have is an 8mm deep well, but it doesn't look like it was put on very strong either, so it kind of looks like somebody took the carb off recently anyways, so hopefully this carb I bought was good. I got like it was a ridiculous deal, so I bought them, took the chance, because basically it came with an air filter and oil filter and carburetor for like $13 or something like that. It was a very crazy. So between the oil filter and the air filter, that's $13 right there. So figured if the carbs are halfway worth a darn, then we'll use them. This, man, somebody did not put the spring in correctly either. This is pretty bad. Okay, let's see if we can do that. There we go. All right, that carb is done, so we'll just get it out of the way for now. And so what else are we going to do here? We're going to put the new carb on now. Is the gasket still on here? It is not, so we'll get our gaskets. Get everything situated here. And I will grab my 8mm deep well. There we go. These carbs even come with gaskets, so that's very nice. Like the little Nicky carb gaskets that go inside the bowl that'll always stretch out if you try and rebuild them or clean them or break them open for anything. So that's nice that they come with an extra one of them. Alright, let's see here. Wind this around. Can I do that? Yeah. Come on now. There we go. Alright. Gasket. Choke lever. We needed to have that on. Gasket. Put that on. Lock it in on the bolts there. Almost 5 o'clock. About time to finish for the day here. I've already unseized the Briggs. I should have made a video on it, but didn't have high hopes for it ended up working out, which is good for the customer. This one needed a compression release, so there we go. We won't even put the cover on yet, and we'll go ahead and, of course, I took off some of this. I'm gonna have to add a little bit of fuel line to it. Of course, I took off some of it for the other one, which had the elbow on it. Should have just left it on. All right, so I'm gonna get another fuel line. We'll get the fuel in. We'll unhydrolock this thing. Yeah, we'll unhydrolock it. So, how do we do that? We pull this plug out right here. Spin it over once or twice. How does the plug look? Oh yeah, look at all that junk. Hey, at least it's the end of the day. I think I caught it before it flooded the whole crankcase, so shouldn't have to change out any. So I think we're okay now. Alright. So before I have to change out anything else, I think we'll be okay. It'll just kind of choke when we start it. Oh, also, I don't know if it's in the camera shot, but I found a muffler for this thing. Right there. Direct bolt on. Didn't have to do any improvising or anything on it. So that was awesome. I was excited for that. And put this plug back in here, and I'll extend that fuel line just a tiny bit, and we'll be in business, hopefully, with a good running machine, as long as this cheapo carb works. Man, these things are hit and miss. A lot of times they're good, and sometimes they're not. We'll see if this one is. Okay, so I pulled it away from where I had the gas and stuff out, so hopefully I don't burn this thing to the ground, but carb is on, choke linkage and stuff is hooked up, gas line. Make sure I got my gas still in here, unless it sucked it all dry. I should have enough, so let's give it a whirl. Shouldn't need to choke it because there's probably still a lot of fuel in there, and I need to grab a key. Alright, let's grab the key here, and let's see. Oh, gotta put the brake on. Alright. Okay. Oh. I know. I can't. I keep. Man, that would have been bad. I just about forgot to put the ignition coil wire on. And the anti-backfire solenoid, which isn't that big of a deal per se, but good that I caught the other one first. All right, let's see here. And I gotta get the screw to put that back on, so. Whew. I guess it's 5 o'clock, I need to quit for the day. But we heard it run, that was good. And it should run longer here in a second. Sounds good, doesn't sound like it's knocking or anything like that, so. And I was told this was a running machine, so they were correct in that. I don't expect anything run straight out of the box after it's set for years and years and years anyway, so I was expecting at least carb work. It is what it is with the cam, but it's done. So let's see what we got. So that's good. My cheap carb gamble worked out extremely well. That thing runs like a top. So what I'm going to do next, let all the smoke clear. I'm going to go ahead and put the double stack pulley back underneath it with the transmission drive pulley and the deck. I'm going to make sure all the pulleys and everything are good on it. My tires on here are really bad, so it's probably not going to drive per se. It'll just spin on the wheel. He did say the transmission was bad in it, so I'm curious if that's the case. If it is, then we'll, like I said, I got definitely got a couple of transmissions out there that are good. On that Husqvarna is one of them. So we'll be in good shape if it's a transmission. Not that big of a deal. And I will put that pulley on and we'll go on from there. Nice sunset behind us tonight there through the trees. How about that? We'll end the day on this, hopefully. We're going to see if it drives. And I may pull it out here and see if it throw the blades on and see how they sound too. And this thing may drive backwards though. I'll go ahead and engage the transmission as far as I possibly can. It appears that I have. And do we have? So it is locked in place. So we'll find out if something is not right or what on this thing. But let's see. Park brake down, should crank up. Not spinning the pulley back here for some reason. So let me see. Is it off the pulley? We're not getting any tension for some reason? is missing a fan blade, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Let me see if it's tight on the. Let's see, are we missing something here? I don't know. Let's see. Like I said, worst case, we got to put a transmission in it. But what have we got? We've got a belt that's not tight for whatever reason. Let's see. This might be across the bridge tomorrow on this one. Belt should be tight enough to engage everything. Whoops. Let's see. Kind of sounds like we'll have to pull the battery and see. I'm going to pull the battery and look at it real quick. Let me just try it one more time because it did make a little bit of a different noise. Just one more time. So it will engage blades, that's a good thing. I don't know if you've got loose blades down there or anything, but it will. Let me pull it out by myself here. I think it's just having a hard time trying to move it with having a hard time trying to move it with square tires on it. So let me try this one more time. I know there's a bunch of junk on the exhaust and stuff, which is why it's so smoky. I I do want to see how it runs with the blades on. Enough for today. Seems to be fine. Transmission, we'll visit that tomorrow. Like I said, worst case, we put one in it. Not that big of a deal. It's a fender drive. I've got one on a scrap mower out there. I've got another one just chilling, waiting for it to be put on something. So we'll let it do its thing out here overnight tonight. Since I've smoked in the garage, I'll clean everything up for the evening, and we'll revisit this tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have, before I do anything, I'll pull the battery, I'll put 2 good tires on it. I've got to put a fan on it if the transmission itself is good. I have a feeling that the transmission, because it was ran without a fan, cooked itself and or is run low on fluid and needs either a fan or to be topped off. One of the two. But we have essentially a running, driving, and cutting machine today, which is awesome, and we'll revisit this tomorrow, see if we can finish everything up and make it good. Alright, so you can see I've got the engine cover all back on. The hydrostatic transmission issue was where is it? Broken pedal return spring, believe it or not. So it wasn't allowing the belt to engage very well. So that spring, I missed the trash. That spring goes from, where is it? Right here, and then it goes over to there. And so now I've got a tight belt. I've still got to put a fan on it, a hydro fan, but that ain't bad. That ain't that big of a deal, thankfully. Got to put a hydro fan on it, and I've got the deck off. I sharpened the blades on it, but I can show you all real quick that we have drive now, which is good. Drive and should be in good shape. So I do need to ATF the front tires, and I believe I need to do the right rear. I'm going to put the deck back underneath, put a couple anti-scout wheels on it, try and dress up this seat as much as I can with either a seat cover or a bunch of duct tape, one of the two, and we'll go from there. But yeah, so I did find a couple of good tires for the rear. One of them has stayed up. I've had it a while. And the other one here, put a valve stem in it, and hopefully it'll be fine. They're the same tire, so they should work just fine, and should be good. So very happy about that. I'll put the mower deck back on. I did do a little bit of WD-40 to engage and disengage everything, and engage and disengage everything, just to make sure that nothing was going to fall off or anything like that. So that's a good thing. And we'll put it all back together now here next. Alright, so as y'all see, I've done quite a bit of cleanup on this. It ain't perfect, but it's cosmetically a lot better than it was. We'll give a quick walk around Already took pictures of it. It's ready for sale. Everything's working like it's supposed to on it. The tires, I put ATF in both the fronts and the right rear. The left rear has a tube in it. The rear tires match and the front tires match, so that's good. Front end's not too bad. Got a little bit of camber going on with it, but pretty par for the course for these, especially this age. A little bit of transmission fluid shine, just a dotted transmission fluid on a rag with the cover. The seat couldn't be saved. None of these seats that I have are in good condition, so I put a little seat cover thing on it just to make it look a little bit better. Aesthetically, this mower's not the best, but it's decent for what it is. Especially now that I've cleaned it up. Cleaned the engine up on the mower, so it looks pretty good too, because it was pretty oily, and shined up all the plastics and stuff. The fan situation I was unable to remedy because the pulley is frozen on there from how long it's set and is not doing very well, so in terms of wanting to come off. So who knows how long it was drove by like that. I know it's not the best, but at least this is a lighter mower for this transmission, and it'll probably be just fine. That's the one thing I couldn't do to this thing, but that's all right. I'm gonna list it for like $650 or so, because it's got a couple of cosmetic problems here and there, but overall the tires hold air, everything works like it's supposed to on it, and it's a running and cutting machine and looks halfway decent. Also got the headlights working as well. I'll show you that here as I do a little forward backward test on it real quick before it gets dark out here. So here we go. It's still got a little bit of oil to burn off of the muffler, just from where that muffler was on another mower. You hear it sounds pretty good. The headlights. There you go. I even cleaned the headlight lenses on this one. They were really, really bad. But there we go. Had to adjust the park brake a little bit to make it work like it was supposed to as well. But it is good. So, this is the last mower resurrection that I'm going to be doing in 2025. It's the couple days before Christmas, and I won't have any time to do anything until the new year. So this one's done. We'll tuck it in the back and list it for $650, and we'll see how long it takes to sell. I think it's going to be a good mower for somebody and should do what it needs to for the person who buys it. I'm surprised at how well this turned out. Again, we just had to do a camshaft compression release and carburetor, battery. Had to put a new return spring for the park brake so that everything worked like it was supposed to. Really nice overall. Seat cover. So again, this mower was free. It was given to me. So anything I make on top of basically the battery and a couple other small items that I had to put on here. I have probably $50 into this at the most, and because everything else I pretty much used I had here already. So very nice, and should be a good machine. And another one ready. I think this is like number 8 or 9 I've gotten ready already here. between the fall and the winter, so I'm going to have a good stock of mowers come the spring if they don't all sell before then. So I already sold 2 in the past 2 days, so pretty neat that it's still got some sales and stuff here in the quiet season. Thank y'all again very much. I will catch y'all on the next video.